Hello and welcome to Not Gambling Advice, the baseball betting stream on the Just Baseball Network. Today, 4 MLB best bets from me. We're going to go over the model for a bunch of other games that we have not yet discussed, and then we will get to 30 plus MLB picks from all the talented cappers that we have brought on. Some housekeeping things before we begin. Remember, this is a competition, so whoever has the most units at the end of the year will win World Series tickets, and second place will get a $500 cash prize. But the great thing is, you can find all of the plays on the Pick'It Sports app. They are all tracked, and because they are tracked, we can see who's up and down units. Producer Cohen, can you quickly flash our leaderboard so people know who will be coming in to give picks and where we sit right now? As you can see, I'm sitting in 4th place, but if I get up to 1st place or 2nd place, a subscriber of this Twitch channel will be able to get those World Series tickets or the $500 cash prize. Remember, all of my plays are being played on BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Use code JBFANS, that's JBFANS, when you download BetMGM. Wager $10 on any money line, which I'll have a money line for you today. And then once the bet is settled, you will see $100 in bonus bets in your account. Depending on the state, you could get $200 in bonus picks. Before we get into today's picks, let's do a quick recap of the day before. We didn't stream yesterday because, of course, they were a bunch of early games, but we did the other day and earned. Minnesota, so many chances, but it's baseball. Not enough. The White Sox closed that one out. Colorado Rockies, they won pretty easily. So that was a good one at least. And I think we lost a prize picks entry. Pretty sure we lost a prize picks entry. Yeah, because Tim Anderson had like 30 hits. Not ideal. But Chris Bryant did hit a home run, but prize picks doesn't pay unless you get both right. Chris Bryant hit. Tim Anderson went insane. What are you going to do? That's why we were down minus 0.15 units. $100 bettors were down $15 tailing my plays. That ain't good enough. Today, 4 MLB best bets. So let's get straight into it, Producer Cohen. I want to start with the earliest game on the slate, at least on my picks, which is the Chicago White Sox versus the Cincinnati Reds at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. The pitching matchup is Lance Lynn versus Hunter Green. Now, when I was doing the research, I think this would be a huge mismatch if it weren't for the names on the jerseys, right? But even the names on the jerseys, they aren't giving people much faith in the Chicago White Sox, and it doesn't start today giving faith to the Chicago White Sox. Not only through every statistical edge when it comes to play on the field, but the Reds have the travel advantage. Remember, because they had an off day yesterday, White Sox, 12-inning game. Now they have to travel to Cincinnati, and the Reds have home field advantage. So a lot of edges are stacking up for the Cincinnati Reds, both early and late. Starting early, Hunter Green is just a far superior pitcher to Lance Lynn. Green ranks 5th in all of baseball in stuff plus and 5th in pitching plus, meaning the location on his otherworldly pitch arsenal is above average. His slider is holding opponents to a 160 xwOBA, which makes it one of the best sliders in the sport. Then the reason I bring up the slider is because the White Sox lead Major League Baseball in chase rate. They bail pitchers like Hunter Green out a ton because all they do is swing and miss. Hunter Green should have an absolute day, considering that White Sox hitters, 7 of them have a negative run value against sliders. One hitter, actually a couple hitters do, but one hitter who's been doing really well off sliders is Jake Berger, who is, unfortunately for the White Sox, on the IL. And Lance Lynn's 5.68 xERA is in the 18th percentile in Major League Baseball on the backs of a 46.7% hard hit rate, which sits in the 17th percentile in Major League Baseball. Lance Lynn is also rocking the lowest ground ball rate of his career, and the velocity in all 3 variations of his fastball is down from last season. That is not a good recipe for success in Great American Ballpark, where it already plays as the smallest park. You don't want to give up free passes, because if you do, and you're giving up hard contact in a small stadium like this, that ain't good. But it's not just early, right? The Reds bullpen ranks 8th in xFIP and 11th in Sierra while maintaining the 13th best bullpen ERA, which is impressive considering their environment. They also had an off day yesterday, so everybody's going to be available. Against right-handed pitching at home, the Reds have a 741 OPS and a 91 WRC+. Against right-handed pitching on the road, which the White Sox are, they have a 640 OPS and a 77 WRC+. Reds are 9-6 at home. White Sox are 14-12, or 4-12 on the road. Early edge is on the Reds. Full game edge is on the Reds. I grabbed them at -105. They're currently available at -115. I would play them all the way up to -120. Give me 1.05 units on the Reds money line to win 1 unit. Come on, Reds. Bring us home, Hunter Green. Let's move to Cleveland. And I want to talk Twins versus Guardians. Now, based on line movement, you could say this is my least confident play. Because I grabbed it at -110, and we started seeing plus 100s in the market. Now it's settled to around -105 towards the under. We obviously don't like an adjustment, for example, on the Reds, and in my next 2 plays, we've seen a lot of great line movement on our side. Because, of course, I send out my plays normally the night before or around 7, 8 in the morning, and that's when I really do most of my capping. So we're playing a dangerous game. We go in before the market really settles. I get value on CLV. This is a game where I haven't yet. It has not moved in my direction, which is a problem. But I'm going to break down why I like it so you decide whether you want to play it or not. So there was a couple of interesting trends when I was looking at this game because I was already kind of drawn to the under because I've been watching the Twins, been watching the Guardians, and I'm like, both of these 2 offenses have just not been good. The weather today at Progressive Field, it benefits the pitcher. Guardians bullpen completely rested, had an off day yesterday, and they're still like a top 5 unit in Major League Baseball. Twins bullpen, they have all their best arms available. So I was a little bit in between, but these trends put me over the top. The Guardians are 8-4 to the under this season, which is following, because it's one thing to just have a trend, and it's another thing for a trend to repeat year over year. And this has been the same thing that was happening last season, early on in the season, because in Cleveland, the weather tends to be pretty crappy early, like in April and May, and it still is. But then I looked at the starting pitchers, because both, like Peyton Battenfield, he hasn't been that good, but Bailey Ober has. So I was like, all right, Battenfield's been this bad. Have it just been flying over? No. Every single start by Peyton Battenfield has gone under 8.5. And every single start so far by Bailey Ober, under 5 runs, has yet to exceed 5 runs. So that put it over the top for me. And considering that Ober has performed really well against the Guardians through 35 plate appearances, Ober is rocking a 212 opponent average, 261 xWOBA, 293 expected slugging. All super elite, but it's a small sample, right? 35 plate appearances. The last time we saw Ober pitch against the Guardians, 5 innings, 1 hit allowed. 1 hit allowed. No runs. Again, Twins bullpen is rested. Guardians having 619 OPS and a 70 WRC plus against right-hand pitching at home. It's one of the league's worst. And the Twins have an 88 WRC plus and a 679 OPS against right-handed pitchers on the road. Not very great offenses. We got 8 to 10 mile an hour wind blowing in. Temperatures are going to be between 58 to 61 degrees. Again, seen some line movement, not in our direction. If you are straight, like you only tail the plays if you see line movement, maybe this isn't one you tail. I'm still riding. I still like it. I'm still on it. Give me the Guardians versus the Twins under 8.5, 1.1 units to win 1 unit at -110. And you can get it at a better price right now. On BetMGM, it is -105. Here is a big line move, and a line move that I'm really, really happy about because I feel like I nailed this game when a lot of other people, they don't like the under because they're scared of Antonio Senzatella. So we're going to travel to Citi Field and watch the Colorado Rockies versus the New York Mets. First pitch is at 7:10 p.m. Eastern. The pitching matchup is Antonio Senzatella versus Kodai Senga. I want to take the Mets. Of course, I want to take the Mets because we are fading the Rockies offense off a long homestand, and that's been profitable for us. The issue here is the Mets are extremely overvalued in the spot. Producer Cohen, should the Mets be -250 against anybody right now? No, absolutely not. They shouldn't be. So I'm not going to lay -1.5 at home. I'm not going to do any of that. But I also can't really take the Rockies team total. It's at 3.5, but it's like -160 towards the under. Like, I'm not going to take 2.5. Like, while I don't even think they get over 2 runs, like, it's really, really low. So what I am hoping for is that the Mets don't score. And I think there's a possibility that they don't today because I don't know if you've been watching Mets games, but they have been terrible. Now, as you can see, Antonio Senzatella, while this is a nice highlight tape, shout out producer Cohen, W producer Cohen, he's not very good, right? I'm not here to pitch him as some great pitcher. But weirdly, he has had some success against the Mets and at Citi Field. In 2021, he allowed 2 runs in 4 innings against the Mets in Citi Field. If he does that again, I think we're in the clear. Back in 2019, 6 innings, 1 run ball at Citi Field. Excuse me. He had his worst outing against the Mets at Coors Field, so his overall numbers against the current roster aren't great. 336 xWOBA, 462 expected slugging. Those are below average. But the average exit velocity being under 90 miles an hour does help. So Tommy Pham and Eduardo Escobar are the 2 best hitters off Antonio Senzatella in their careers on the Mets current roster. No Eduardo Escobar today. Tommy Pham will play. Not great. Mets, they do have a decent offense at home. 712 OPS, 109 WRC plus against righties. I don't expect Senzatella to pitch well, but what I'm expecting and what I need is 5 innings, 3 runs. No, that's not that good of a start. It's like a 5 ERA. If I get that, I think we're in the clear. The Rockies will have their 4 best arms available. That's Jake Bird, that's Brent Suter, that's Daniel Bard, and that's Justin Lawrence. Now, so if we can get there, we should limit runs. Now, I don't think the Rockies are going to score much because Kodai Senga has one of his easiest matchups to date. I think it is his easiest matchup. Rockies, long homestand at Coors, now have to fly across the country to New York. And that offense has a 632 OPS and a 70 WRC plus against righties on the road. It's just a really bad spot for them. Again, it's also Citi Field is tied for the worst run scoring environment of the day. Minus 19% below league average. Right? So and we've seen the total go from 8.5 to 8. I think it's still playable at 8, up to minus 105. Let me see what it is on BetMGM right now. So right now on BetMGM, this total, let me get that for you. This total is at under 8 at minus 105. That's where I cap it at. That's my breaking point. So I still think there's value if you want to tail that today. Of course, it's not gambling advice. But I think it is playable at 8.5. I really do. Let's see any comments right now. When the Goats align a hammer, I'm not confident the Orioles keep our 10-0 opener record. We're going to talk about the Orioles. We have a lot of games to get through. It's going to be a blast of a day. So 3 picks so far. I got one more. Probably my favorite of the day based on line movement and just my general overall capping in the morning. So we have the Reds money line at minus 105 up to minus 115. We have the Rockies versus the Mets under 8.5 down to 8. But then we have the Twins versus Guardians under 8.5. That has went from minus 110 to minus 105. Again, not a big deal, but you don't love to see that, of course, when you're making bets. Under 8 is plus 100 on FanDuel for the Mets game? Under 8 is plus 100 on FanDuel. Yeah, I would take it up to minus 105. So that's still in our price range. My cap, which is on BetMGM, is at minus 105. If you can still get it at plus 100, I still think that's worth it. I do. I still think that's worth it. So this is probably my favorite game of the day. Probably my favorite game of the day. And it's the Oakland A's versus the Kansas City Royals at 8:10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to travel to Missouri. Kansas City's in Missouri. Yes, it is. It's not in Kansas, right? No, it's not. It's in Missouri. Bang. Kyle Muller versus Brad Keller. My producer's looking at me like, I don't know. It's definitely in Missouri. Yes. Pitching matchup is Brad Keller versus Kyle Muller. And as soon as this line opened, I knew I was going to be on the over because just personally, I'm a nerd. I'm doing research into the Royals and the A's pens, which have been dog shit. They have been terrible. But before we even get into the bullpens, let's talk about each starting pitcher. So Brad Keller, 3.56 ERA is impressive, right? But every other metric is pointing towards negative regression, and it's pointing towards him blowing up soon. In 30 innings this year, 24 hits, 24 walks. That's really bad. His strikeout and walk rates are 18%, putting him in the bottom 25% of the league. His 42.2% hard hit rate is also in the 35th percentile. And his 4.78 xERA is in the 38th percentile. He's also been blasted at home this season to a 5.11 ERA. Oakland doesn't have a great offense, but they do have an 88 WRC plus and a 675 OPS, which is not too shabby, and the reason being it's below average, but a lot of people think it's the worst offense in the league. It's not the worst offense in the league. Following Keller, they're actually 18th in WRC plus in baseball, so they're not even a bottom 10 offense right now. Following Keller will be a bullpen that ranks 25th in bullpen ERA at 5.51. They've also used their 3 best relievers in 2 straight games, so it's very doubtful that they're going to be available at all. I'm expecting 4 to 5 runs from the A's with possibility for more, but I expect the Royals to demolish them. I even think Royals money line, I know it's a little juicy, is not a bad play at all. Like if you want to, if you like the Suns tonight, for example, on the money line, looking at the Royals and the Suns, I think it's a pretty decent 2-piece. And I do expect the Royals offense to continue to roll. They're going to go up against Kyle Muller, who has allowed 10 runs in 9 innings on the road. And the Royals' far better split this year is against lefties, putting up a 735 OPS versus lefties, a 645 OPS against righties. After Muller exits, they'll get to face an A's bullpen that is ranked dead last in every single metric. It's also a worn-down A's bullpen that has pitched its best arms in back-to-back days against the Mariners. Runs should be flowing all game. I grabbed it at 9 last night. We've seen it at 9.5. I'm even seeing 10s in the market. My model puts it at 10. So from a model perspective, you're not getting any more value. But again, it still has it at 10. I need 10 to win anyway. Of course, if it had opened at 10 and my model has it at 10, maybe I'm not as excited about it because, of course, I grabbed it at 9, which is a key number. But I still think it's playable at 10. I think this is one of those games that ends 8-6. I think runs are going to be flowing freely. So give me the A's versus the Royals over 9 runs at -115. That is 1.15 units to win 1 unit. Do we just get a sub bang? Fat Girls Inc. Sub bang. Would I still play the over at 10? Yeah, I was just 9.5 -120 or 10 everywhere. Honestly, I would play the 10 for cheaper. I know that might sound a little crazy because obviously you want 9.5, and if it lands on 10, you would hit it versus a push. But I think it's flying over 10. So if you ask me, should I play 9.5 at -120 or 10 at plus 100 or -105? I'd rather just play it for less, right? Give me 10. I think it's going over 10. Thanks for all you do, Pete. Fat Girls, you're a beast. Just remember, guys. Also, is my head. Welcome to it. Remember. Wait, what was I going to say?
Subscriber to this Twitch.
Oh, yeah, subscribers of this Twitch stream. Subscribers of this Twitch stream. Remember, if I win this competition, and I'm going to win, Nick is in the chat right now, I'm going to beat his ass. I'm going to beat everybody here. It's not off to a great start, and I'm not calling my shot, but I'm kind of calling my shot. I'm going to win this thing. Or at least I'm going to try, or at least I'm going to get second. Throw up the leaderboard for us, Cohen, right now. I'm in 4th, all right? I'm not going to let Tomas beat me. I'm not going to let Jake beat me. Who's that? Who's Mid-Major Matt? Who are these people? No, they're actually phenomenal people, and I'm excited to hear their picks, and they've been rolling, but I'm beating their ass. And when I do, a subscriber of this Twitch stream is getting my World Series tickets, and if I finish second because some dude lucks out. No, they're all really good. They're all really good. Of course, I'm joking around. But if I finish second, a subscriber of this Twitch stream will get a $500 cash prize. So, those are the 4 picks. How are we feeling? I want to see in the chat right now. Which is your favorite of the ones I named? Do you like the Reds money line the most? Do you like the Guardians Twins under 8.5? Do you like the Rockies versus the Mets under? Or do you like the A's versus the Royals over? I want to know in the chat your favorite play that I mentioned. Why not, right? All the goats are aligned on Reds. Let's go Reds, baby. Let's go Reds. All right? Time to bring out the model. All right? Park factors, game simulations, and a matchup machine. I love all the comments right now. Play the Royals, A's over, A's, Royals over, Reds, Mets under for sure. Let's go. Nobody likes that Twins Guardians under. All right, whatever. It might hit. Maybe not. Might, though. I think it will. But it's time to go over the model. Remember, these are matchups, simulations, to give us a better view on where the model is showing value on. You can find all these on ballparkpal.com. Thankfully for us, it will be live on justbaseball.com soon. All right, let's get into the model, producer Cohen. And we're going to start with a game that I haven't touched, and I'm a little bit nervous about, but I do like the Phillies. I do like the Phillies in this matchup. I think the Red Sox are, they're coming off a series where they just swept the Jays. Now they're underdogs with Chris Sale on the mound. But Chris Sale has been bad. His slider especially has been bad. It grades as a below-average pitch on Stuff Plus. So does his fastball. He does not look like the same pitcher. I am done, walking around telling you Chris Sale is back. I'm off that train. And Zach Wheeler, the problem is with Wheeler and why I was afraid to tail the Phillies is while he looked phenomenal his last start, his velocity is still down across the board. This is a very, very tough game. Cap-wise, Nick, Chris Sale games are unbettable in my opinion. Yeah, these are tough games, but I wanted to show the model. Can you flash it up again for the people, Cohen? Just keep it up for a second. I want to go over a couple of things with this game because I found it really interesting that the model likes the under and we have sharp movement going towards the under as well. I just couldn't play the under, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't play the under. No way. It's a tough game, right? We don't know what we're going to get from both sides. Red Sox are coming off a lot of runs. Phillies are better against lefties. But as you can see, the model thinks the game should be at 7.5, and we still have 8.5s in the market, but going down to 8. I mean, maybe the under is the move here. I mean, that's what the model is telling us. Telling us, don't bet on a side. I mean, it still does like the Phillies. Has the Phillies winning more often than not. But it's showing a little bit of value on the Red Sox. Not much, but, a smidge. Take a look at the under. The under could be a move. I hate it, but it might. I want to be able to back the model's plays, but, sometimes I don't like them, and I don't play them. All right? Let's get into the next play on the model, producer Cohen. We got Bailey Ober versus Peyton Battenfield. As we can tell, look at that total, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that total and tell me I'm crazy, because I'm not. I'm not some idiot. The model knows what it's talking about. They think the Guardians are really going to struggle offensively today. And they think the Twins should be slight favorites. But they have this being a really low-scoring game. As you can tell, the model thinks 8.5 should be plus 169, not minus 115. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of value on this under. I already was leaning towards the under because, remember, I don't just bet strictly on what the model tells me to do. If I like something and the model likes it, that's when it becomes actionable for me, right? The model likes that under in the other game. Not actionable for me. Don't like it. This game, I already was leaning towards the under. The model likes the under. And I know a lot of people are going to be on the Twins today. And we'll go over it. And the model says they're priced correctly. So I think the Guardians are kind of sneaky, though. I think they might win one 3-2. Some gross, disgusting game. I think this game goes under. The model agrees. Give me that under. Give it to me. After hearing it, nobody in the chat said that they like this Guardians. Twins under. Do we like it more now when we see the model? Do we like it more now, or we still hate it? It's perfectly fine if you hate it. I'm just curious. All right, let me know in the chat. All right, let's keep going. Here we are. Mets versus Rockies. As you can see, the model likes this under. Look at it. All right? 4.25 to 3.53. It thinks the line should be closer to 7. This is another reason why. Fading the Rockies off that long homestand. I even think a 3.5 projection for the Rockies is outdoing it. But as you can see, the Mets are just crazy overvalued because this is probably going to be a low-scoring game. I really do think so. I don't think the Mets are going to go crazy here. And with that line movement, the model thinking the line should be at 7. I'm a big fan of this under. And the line movement only helps. And as you can see, even at 7.5, if you're like, oh, should I play under 8? Model still likes it. Thinks it should be 7.5, maybe even 7. So take a good look at that. Even consider a nerfy. I don't know what the line is. I'm not a nerfy guy, but consider it. Right? All right. Is that the end of the model? End of the model. We'll get it up. Do we have people in queue? Not yet. I want to, can I ask the chat for a second? Is Trent still streaming? because I want to see. I want Trent in the mojo right now. I want to see Trent give his MLB model to the people. No idea what to make of Senzatella today. I think he pitches. I think he gives up 3 runs in 5 innings. No, he is not. What a loser. What a loser. We need him in here. No, I love Trent. We need him in here, giving out his plays. I want to see what he's got in the MLB today. Do we have anybody in queue, Producer Cohen? We'll have Ollie in a few seconds. Hope everybody's having a pretty good day. Pretty good start to the day. Friday, Cinco de Mayo. Enjoy your margaritas. Maybe a couple tacos. I know I'll be doing that. Let's welcome on Ollie to see how he's celebrating Cinco de Mayo with some plays of his own. The shirt looks better on Twitch, right? Looks much better. Ollie.
Howdy.
Are you celebrating Cinco de Mayo with some Hunter Green money line and some margaritas?
I thought about it, but I think I'm going to postpone my Cinco de Mayo celebration to tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. I just didn't feel like food shopping today, so I didn't want to get the chicken to make the chicken taco to do all that stuff. I'll do it tomorrow after my round of golf.
Okay.
But I will be celebrating with Hunter Green. By the way, I've seen nothing but Reds money line everywhere, so we know this is certainly not hitting, but we're playing it anyways, right?
That's the issue. Like I thought that the White Sox would be kind of a play for everybody today, and yet,
yeah,
I mean, we do have line movement on our side, which is good. So it's like the books are respecting it. But I agree, it's been a weird market for the Reds right now. But I'm on the Reds. I know you're on the Reds. Break it down why you like the Reds today.
Yeah. There's a decent amount that goes into why this is my favorite play today. Favorite play probably all week. It makes me I like it so much. Only 1 unit play, but still, I mean, first we have Hunter Green back at home against a bad White Sox offense. I know that Eloy's kind of heating up. Benintendi's back, but they just lost Jake Berger, who's arguably been their most consistent and best hitter. So they have that part of the Reds pitching, Hunter Green, blah, blah, blah. We all know everything that potential can be. On the other side, this is why I like it more. Because on the other side, you have Lance Lynn going. Lance Lynn started throwing a sweeper this year. He did not throw a single sweeper his last time out against the Rays and went 6 no-hit innings. Not a single one. All fastballs. All, he's got, like the 2-seamer, 4-seamer, sinker, cut, whatever. He basically just throws fast, doesn't know which way it's going, and boom, he pitched a lot better. Back to Lance Lynn. That is a perfect recipe for what the Reds do. The Reds are the worst team in Major League Baseball against off-speed pitches. Lance Lynn, if he goes about what he did last start out, where he had success doing what he does, it will play in perfectly to what the Reds do, which is just attack fastballs. And if they get to Lance Lynn, which I do think that they will, they have a really bad bullpen and a tired bullpen. After that Twin series, they didn't get a day off like the Reds did, got a day off coming back from San Diego. So they got the day off. They have Alexis Diaz ready. Probably, I'm assuming he'll be able to pitch. And although their bullpen isn't great, every time I come on and pitch the Reds, I talk about how Alexis Diaz is that guy. He is a beast. He's not just Edwin Diaz's little brother. He's a legit bona fide top closer in baseball to me. So when he's available, I feel comfortable backing the Reds full game, especially in a spot like this where, believe it or not, I give the bullpen advantage to the Reds. So not getting key with the first 5, even though I like the starting pitching matchup. I like the bullpen matchup. I like everything about the Reds.
I like everything about the Reds, too. It's like one of those plays where every single number, which is almost dangerous when it's like every number that you look at is favoring the Reds, like even White Sox offense on the road, White Sox offense against Hunter Green, Reds got the bullpen advantage, everything like that. We have a question in the chat. Would Lance know those stats, though, and adjust to the Reds?
Now, would he? I don't know, because...
Listen to this. If I know Lance Lynn, I know that he is a stubborn man.
Exactly.
And what I also know about Lance Lynn is I was just on Foul Territory. And they had Lance Lynn on the podcast a couple days before me. And Lance Lynn had a viral clip where they asked, "What do you like the sweeper? Like I saw you started throwing that." And he's like, "Fuck the sweeper."
Yeah,
he gave
he's
up
like, I'm
3
fucking done
runs
with
in a
it.
game. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
So if he just is like is the opposite of what he's been doing for his entire 36-year-old body and just reverts to that, and then it's way better and we lose the bet, good for him. I'm willing to bet on 15 years of Lance Lynn that I've watched in Major League Baseball not doing that, and the Reds hunting fastballs, and the velo is down on his 3 variations of it.
Yeah, I agree. And if for some reason he does try to throw a sweeper, the reason he stopped throwing it was because it was so bad.
Yeah.
So even a really bad offensive team against off speed like the Reds, against one of the worst pitches out there in the game right now, will probably be able to see it well. Maybe not the first time through the order, but definitely the second and third time through, because he's going to go out there and throw 100 pitches at least with their bullpen situation. So even if he gets hit around a little bit, I still think he's going to go pretty deep, as much as his body lets him go today anyways.
Absolutely. And you got more plays, though.
Yeah, a couple more. I really like the Mets team total today.
Continue, King Castro, sub bang. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
Little
Continue,
Twitch
Ollie.
Prime sub bang. Yeah, I really like the Mets bats today. I don't necessarily like the price on anything backing the Mets in the game. However, Mets team total over 5, minus 105. I know the original line was 4.5 at like minus 140. So I was like, screw it. I'll just take the 5 little alt, sell a half a point and get the minus 105, a much better play. I don't want to play the Mets at minus 280 or whatever they are. And after that series in Detroit, I think most people probably will look at this Mets offense and want nothing to do with it. But I think this is just a beautiful, beautiful get-right spot for the Mets offense. Antonio Sensatella coming off the IL. I really like targeting people lately. I haven't been doing it, but I've been paying attention to it. Basically, anybody that is coming back off the IL, their first start has not been going well early on in the season. Whether it was Garrett Whitlock letting up 4 homers in Tampa Bay, it was Justin Verlander yesterday, a shaky start, and then he was like fine. Max Scherzer off suspension got rocked. I can go on and on about these guys coming off of IL, making their first start of the season and getting crushed. And Antonio Sensatella, not going to miss many bats. He's going to let up a ton of contact. The Mets, I think, are going to come out pissed off. Maybe this is a silly narrative mindset play, but if I'm in the Mets locker room, I'm pissed off right now. We just lost 3 games in 2 days to the Detroit Tigers. Are you serious? No offense to Tigers and Tigers fans, but the Mets have higher expectations than that this year. I think they're going to be pissed off. I think Pete Alonso has a big day. I think that whole offense really just flourishes against Sensatella and a bad Rockies bullpen.
I get what you're saying. And like I tend to sometimes believe that narrative, like when it's like, in the sense of like they're so due to have a great game and Sensatella is coming off the IL. I don't know. Like
exactly. That's a great reaction. I love that reaction because they look terrible. I mean, as much as I like Eduardo Rodriguez, he just completely decimated them last night. And they just got torn apart by that whole Tigers rotation, really the entire series. Their offense looks bad. Maybe I'll get duped here because they really haven't looked right all season outside of Pete Alonso just mashing homers. But I'm willing to take a little risk here. I just think it's too good of a spot for me personally. I don't really like team totals. I don't really like on betting games that have minus almost nearly 300 money lines. But I think today I have to take advantage of a lot of things aligning that I want to look at.
Just for those on BetMGM right now, you said 4.5 was at minus 140. Now it's minus 130. 5.5 is plus 125. If people want to tail this and they're on BetMGM, would you rather do 4.5 at minus 130, or do you want to do the juice at 5.5 for take the plus money?
Is 5 available? Like
5 is not available on BetMGM.
All right, then,
so I'm just curious.
Yeah, 4.5 minus 130 is fine, I guess, for this. I just want people to know personally, I would play 5, whatever the number is.
Okay.
5.5, I'm all set. But 4.5 for this is fine, I guess. That doesn't really matter too much. Probably better off anyways, because knowing my luck, it'll land on 5. My bet will push, and it'll pan out fine over here.
Awesome. Good to know. That was your. You got one more play though, right?
One more little value sprinkle play. I know when I came on last Friday, I think it was, or whenever last time I was on the A's under, and you said, "What about A's first 5 money line?" And I said, "I'll never bet on the A's." But here I am
Here we
today
are.
betting on the A's because they're playing the Royals, and neither team is good. Obviously, we know this. I just think is Kyle Miller good? Probably not. But I personally think he's better than the 6.5 ERA, whatever he's on, and I don't think Brad Keller is as good as this 3.8 ERA that he's sporting. So I just think at plus 130, the Royals, and maybe maybe this is dumb of me to say that the Royals shouldn't be minus 160 to any Major League Baseball team, but that's just how I feel. So I'll take the underdog in this series maybe every day, no matter who it is.
It's honestly probably not a bad play. I think the A's score a bunch of runs. The thing is, the A's bullpen is just trash right now, and I think the Royals are going to score a ton.
It's atrocious, but they
in a
did
game
shuffle.
where you should see a lot of runs, like anything could happen, and you're grabbing the dog, and you have line movement on your side down to plus 125.
And in the A's defense, they just kind of cleaned house in that bullpen, so maybe we see some fresh arms. Right, they just DFA'd 2 or 3 guys, Familia, Acevedo, Acevedo. Yeah, so maybe that brings a little life in the bullpen. I doubt it because it's still not going to be good. But like you said, that A's offense, sneaky okay.
Sneaky okay.
Especially on the road. They hit better on the road.
Yes, they
Obviously,
do.
like nobody's going to hit better at home playing over there. And the Royals this year at home, 2-14, I think, something just absolutely atrocious. So, like I said, the A's aren't a Major League Ball club, but they're not really playing a Major League Ball club either. So, give me the value, the underdog in this series. Like I said, probably tomorrow and Sunday, whoever the underdog is. Why not?
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it at all. Now, would I play the A's on the money line today? Probably not. Do I hate the play? Not even a little bit.
It's probably not the smartest play, but at this point in the season, we can still get a little silly every now and then.
I would personally, like, if you put a gun in my head and would like pick a winner, I would pick the Royals.
They're minus 160, so
yeah, I guess
or whatever they are.
Yeah, it's not sharp of me.
That's all right.
All right, appreciate you, my friend. Have a happy Cinco de Mayo. Shoot 'em low. Keep the people updated on the golf game.
We'll be trying. And how about my Red Sox? Not bad.
Not bad.
Not a bad baseball
Buying
team.
stock, or are you a little bit nervous?
No, I bought stock a while ago that they would be a wild card contender, so I'm sticking to that.
Okay. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. I don't know about those Red Sox. I don't know about them. Who's up next?
Tomas in the crowd.
Ooh, Tomas. We got the leader, the king of the Not Gambling Advice Betting stream. I love that little smile every single time I give him the intro because you deserve the intro, my friend.
I appreciate it.
Tough day yesterday. No on stream, though. Still in number 1. You could have like 7 bad days in a row and you'd still be fine. What do you got on tap for us today?
First off, I need to harp on yesterday a little bit because I lost a 2-unit play. I've never been more upset with the Miami Marlins in my entire life.
They do.
Runners on second and third. Nobody out. It's 4-3. You couldn't even give me a push. You couldn't even just score one and not even give me the push. That ruined my day. That really changed between me having a winning day and a losing day. So for that one, put it to the side. I got 4 plays today. I love all of them.
I had a similar thing happen to me in that Twins-White Sox game. Tie game, bases loaded, no outs, Correa, Buxton, Larnett coming up. Isn't this the worst sport and the best sport all rolled into one?
It's the best when you win and it's the worst when you lose. It just seems to happen every time.
It is. It's
always.
Even in the NFL too. Like obviously I bet on the NFL all the time. It's my second favorite sport. I don't get mad at NFL losses like I do baseball losses. It
stings a little more.
They tear your heart out.
Yep, always.
They tear your heart out. But we ain't losing today. Let's get into play number 1. I want to hear your analysis on the Twins game first. Because that bet I was interested in. Because the model shows a little bit of not value, just thinks this should be the line. Mm-hmm. I think the game goes under. Why do you like the Twins?
I think this is more of a system play for me than anything.
Road favorites, baby.
First off, favorites off a win, hitting at 64% of the time. Favorites who missed the postseason last year, 62%. And the Twins are 16-6 as a favorite. And I also do like Bailey Ober pitching today, going against Battenfield. Also, too, I really do like the under. Before I even bet the Twins or even was looking at this game, I said, I saw this under yesterday and thought about playing it myself. But when I looked at it, saw the system play that matched with me, I said, I'm going to go with the Twins. They just got a win yesterday coming off playing Chicago where, I don't know, maybe the White Sox, I'm not going to say they're figuring it out. Who am I kidding? But they got back in the win column. But I do like the Twins in this spot. So, yeah, give me Minnesota.
Interesting. Are you worried about the Guardians bullpen being rested and all that, and the Twins had to use? I don't know.
Yes, I would say yes, but I really am backing Bailey Ober in this performance. I really do think he is going to have himself a day. Only reason that I didn't play the first 5 is because he's not a starter that I'm going to confidently go in first 5. I'd rather have the full game and just win the damn game kind of mentality. So that's kind of why I played the full game versus the first 5, but I still really do like Minnesota in this matchup.
Fair enough. Let's go to is that your favorite play of the day? Do you have any 2-unit bombs for us?
Nah, all one units today. Keeping it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Play number 2.
Phillies money line.
Bang.
Phillies money line. This one, it's just a fishy line. I don't understand it. Boston's won 5 straight games. Everyone's talking about them being the hottest team in baseball. Phillies lost 4 straight, but they're minus 150 favorite. Also, interleague favorites hitting at 65% this season as well. I like Wheeler being at home in this matchup. Come on. Give me Philadelphia in this one. I like it. I love it. I got the Phillies jersey on. Let's rock.
Wow. Pitching the Phillies with the Phillies jersey on, but you're an Astros fan. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think about your Stros today? I know you banned them, but like
the Astros, every time I think they're starting to heat up, when they swept the Braves, they started looking good, and then they kind of start losing again and not being able to close games out. I have no read on the Astros right now. I don't know what type of baseball team that is. It seems like every 5 to 6 days they either want to play good or they don't.
A lot of
variance. They got to figure it out. They need to get healthy.
Need to get healthy. But you got one more play or two? Two more. Let's go to play number 3.
Angels, Rangers over. Wow. I got over 9 in this one. 9-mile-per-hour winds blowing out come game time. I know it's not crazy gust of winds or anything, but I think that in a divisional game, they have the familiarity. Dane Dunning is getting the spot start. And this is first start of the season on the road as well. Tyler Anderson hasn't pitched good this year. This one's going over. This one was a no-brainer for me. I think the line's now at 9.5. I got it at 9. Makes me feel even better about it.
9.5 at plus 100. For anyone who loves tailing you, would you play it at 9.5 at plus 100?
Yeah, I'd play it at 9.5. I would.
Perfect. What do you make the game? Like, what do you think the final score is? Just curious.
I'm thinking like 7-4.
7-4.
I think it's going to clear 10. And I don't really know what to expect out of either one of these bullpens. And truthfully, this is one of those games where Dane Dunning and Tyler Anderson might give up 4 or 5 runs in the first 5 innings. Truthfully.
Yeah.
So
I was actually looking at the first 5 over this morning, and I was like, I just don't know what Dane Dunning's going to do. Like, exactly. He's been great out of the pen. I was like, I don't know.
And let's say he does pitch decently, right? I mean, he only gives up 2 runs over 5 innings. I'm going to hope Tyler Anderson gives up maybe 4 or 5, and I got a bullpen game going the later half.
And you still feel good about it.
Yeah.
I like it. Last one.
Brewers Giants under. Not only the Coors Field effect with the Brewers coming away from Colorado, but the Brewers can't hit left-handed pitching. I've come to the conclusion that they just can't do it. I know it's Sean Manaea. I don't care. Also, too, Corbin Burns, I like him in this spot as well. And also, the under's bringing in like 70% of the money, but only 30% of the bets right now. I like the under in this spot. I liked it just looking at the pitching matchup, especially the Brewers offense. Like I said, coming off of Colorado, they can't hit lefties. I think Corbin Burns shoves today. I got this going like a 4-2 type ball game.
Interesting. I was going to play the Giants, but I was scared of that
I almost played the Giants.
I'm a little bit afraid of that bad man in Milwaukee. Like, when he's on, you do not want to be on the other side. And I'm just like, I feel like he's so due to just go nuts. Like, but I kind of want to fade the Brewers. That's why I kind of like this play, because I want to fade the Brewers offense coming off that series at Coors Field.
Yep.
But I'm like, and they're worse against lefties. This is a good play. My only concern is you got a 5-cent adjustment going the wrong way. Minus 115 now.
Yep.
It's my It's my
To
only
me, at
concern.
5 cents, I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's
Yeah,
the same
it's
thing
not
with
gonna
me
do
on
too much for
Twins
me.
Guardians. Same thing with me. It's like a 5 cent adjustment going the other way. I'm like, I don't love it, but like, it's not too bad.
No, 4 plays, Peter. 4 plays, all one unit. Let's have ourselves a day. Why not us?
Why not us, baby? Thanks for coming on. The king himself. Appreciate you. And we'll see you back on Monday, all right?
Yes, sir.
Talk to you. Now we have Mr. Krabs. Krabs Bets is going to give us 30 plays. He's got 30 plays on the slate. I got to get one of those hats. I need one. I know you sent me the link. I still haven't bought one yet. Elite hats.
They have like 90% Yankees hats. I'm sure you can find some, that fit you perfectly.
My girlfriend, slight flex, got me this cream colored like kind of jacket. It has a collar on it. I'm like, I could match that with a Yankee cream and like kind of look like a beast.
No, you kind of look like a douche.
Yeah,
to be honest
exactly.
You would.
Yeah.
You would. It would fit.
Yeah.
It would fit your Yankees mantra. Sure.
Yeah, it would. Just, what'd you say? Oh, yeah. What's the hat site? Hashtag
It's,
not an ad.
No ads, but it is Culture Kings.
Culture Kings.
No ads.
We should go grab hats. Yeah. All right. Enough about hats. Enough about looking like a tool.
Get some hats.
Yeah.
All right.
Enough about looking like a tool. Let's talk bets. Let's start with you being a weirdo and laying 2 units on the freaking Cardinals.
Sure.
I
got a couple 2-unit pieces today.
2-unit pieces.
Yeah, I do. I think only one on here, though. I did add another one on the Braves, but not on this show. All right, we're talking about the Cards.
I'm just shocked.
Baseball right now.
I mean, Megalodon, Cardinals, and going right back to it. No way they lose 7 in a row.
No way they lose 7 in a row, right? No chance.
No chance.
Look, only keeping it to 2U. No 10U, no 20U. All right,
No 20U play.
Keeping it simple. Okay, keeping it simple, keeping it short. All right. Give me the Cards. Give me Montgomery, who got bumped up on his fantasy score against the Tigers, who, correct me if I'm wrong, are coming off of a sweep.
Yes, against the New York
Mets.
Mets.
Very impressive, right? Tigers looking good. Javi Baez looking okay, right?
Yep.
I want to fade. I want to take the Cardinals against a lefty to do some damage here with the total up from 7.5 to 8. I think the Cardinals bats stay hot like they have the last 2 games. They might not have cashed in some wins. Their manager might be worse than Davey Martinez. But the Cardinals bats are starting to get going, and they're getting a turkey tossing lefty tonight at home. The tide's got to turn. And I'm taking 2 units on the ML, laying the juice, not fearing it, embracing it. And it's going to hit. That's the craziest part and best part.
So let's say nobody wants to take this straight. Not saying that they wouldn't, but let's just say.
Yeah.
You pairing it with the Suns?
You could pair with the Suns on the ML, sure. You could pair it with the Braves, which I'm not giving out on the show, but I did add it late. The Braves on the ML. I also laid the juice on -200, 2 units.
Minus 200 lay piece. Nothing could go wrong.
What could go wrong with 2 MLB favorites, right? Sure.
And you got more favorites.
I do like that, though. I do have a lot of favorites today. Only favorites, pretty much. Not good.
Shout out to Alec in the chat. What was Capwise Nick's plays? Capwise Nick will be on in a little bit. But right now, we got to go over more of Krabs. More Krabs. I want more Krabs. All right?
Let's do it.
Next play.
Said nobody ever.
Said nobody ever except me right now. Talk to us. Next play.
Yeah. Let's go to the Reds, which you're also on as well, so I'm not going to sell a ton. Let me go with Hunter Green here against Lance Lynn. I debated on maybe taking the under here, but it is back up to 9, so I'm good. So I'm going to back the public Reds like everyone else who's, an MLB sharp, betting on them literally the entire planet. I'm going with Hunter Green. And maybe Lance Lynn just isn't good anymore at this age. I don't know, but he has looked better recently, but with the total creeping back up, I think Hunter Green is going to pitch fine either way. So with that total climbing back up, I want to fade the White Sox, who've been walking off teams left and right recently, playing decent. The public's starting to think that they're good again. They're not. They're one of the worst organizations, the worst teams in baseball. The Reds are no good either, but they are home. They do have their young ace on the bump, and I think they get right against Lance Lynn, who looks pretty brutal so far.
Nationals, White Sox, 7-game series. Who's winning?
Dude, probably the Nats, honestly.
Probably
the Nats are not that bad.
No, they're good.
They're not that. No, they're not good. They're not good, but they're not that bad. They're not. Everyone thought they're going to be the worst team in the league, and they're clearly not. They're not.
It's a good point. They are not worse than the A's right now, but I still think, we'll see. All right, next play.
Yeah, let's go Phillies. All right. Yeah, I want to fade Chris Sale. I think he's a garbage can. I think he's washed. And I want to back Philly with Bryce Harper making his first home start of the season. Okay. That energy is going to be unmatched. Boston is on a 6-game win streak. I get it, but they're playing those games at Fenway where they have a significant edge. They always play better at Fenway at home. They always have. They always will. But tonight's traveling to Philly and one of the most electric atmospheres so far in this MLB baseball season on a Friday night with Harper returning. I want to back the Phillies with the line moving 10 cents towards Zach Wheeler and co. And I also think Wheeler looked a lot better in that last start. Maybe he's returning to his ace form as well. I want to back the Phils against the Red Hot Red Sox, who are plus 130 on a 6-game win streak against the Phillies, who have not been that impressive. Tough time for Harper to come back on the road in LA against the Dodgers. I didn't really think that was the smartest move, but maybe it's good he got a couple games under his belt. He looked pretty darn good in that last one. He didn't get out in that game. 3 at-bats, 3 hits, 2 walks as well. So already in midseason form for Harper. That lineup is healthy. They're stacked from top to bottom. Give me the Phillies to cool off the Red Sox today.
Noted non-biased Red Sox fan, Ollie 1 Unit says, yeah, Gosman looked good last night.
Okay. Ollie, that's not what I wanted to hear. That's a solid chirp. I don't even have a response. Okay.
Play number 4.
Sure. Let's go with the Seattle Mariners.
Wow.
Luis Castillo on the ML up to minus 136 now. I got minus 130. You talked about it on BTL. You said it perfectly. Castillo's probably laying minus 135 against Houston for a reason today, right?
I think
Seattle, not off to a great start this season. Honestly, neither is Houston, but clearly the better team here with Javier on the bump, who's been pretty freaking good as well. But Seattle getting some serious respect here. With Castillo on the bump, I think he's going to deal once again today, one of the best pitchers in baseball. And Seattle does continue their little winning streak here at home and wins their 5th game in a row against the struggling Astros, who just dropped their last 2 to the Giants, scored 2 runs in those games combined. I want to fade this Astros offense on the roads until they get their guy Altuve back. Give me the Mariners on the ML.
I'm sitting on a 2-unit play on over 87.5 wins preseason for the Mariners. You like it or you don't like it?
No, I don't like it. How many wins they have last year? Do you know?
They had 90.
Yeah, I don't like that one bet. Damn.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, they're on fire right now, and don't let them get hot. It might be too late.
They're getting another one. How could you not like it? They're winning today.
Yeah, they're winning today. They'll be 500 now. Sure.
Give me your what is it? It's number 5?
Yeah, Jesus.
I think you have one
number
more
5
after this.
I do have one more after this. Yes, I do have a bonus pick. Milwaukee on the ML. This is the squarest play I'm taking maybe ever. But I'm taking Corbin Burns against Turkey Tosser Manea, who is a short dog for sure. But I'm tired of falling for the Giants as a fake sharp short dog at home. This total is up to 8. Great sign in San Francisco, which typically doesn't get totals that high or moving up. But I think the runs are going to be coming from the Brewers' bats with that line moving their way. The Brewers' bats have been silenced recently. Giants are coming off a couple wins. If the Brewers can't get right against Manea, and I know they don't hit well against lefties, but Manea is one of the worst pitchers in baseball, significantly worse than Patrick Corbin. It's not even close at this point. I want to back Corbin Burns, who, when he's locked in, is the best pitcher in baseball, and he's looked like that in his last 4 starts. I think he's only allowed like 3 runs in his last 4 starts, including an 8-inning, almost no-hitter against the D-backs. I think he's locked in personally in his last few starts after a roughish start. Give me Corbin Burns as a short favorite on the roads with that line continually moving towards the Brewers.
It's a good pitch. Right.
Right.
And that is I was even thinking about the Giants. I'm like, I don't want to be on the wrong side of Burns.
Yeah, it's a good pitch. It's not going to hit, but it's a good pitch.
You know what is going to hit?
One more play.
The bonus play.
Bonus play,
Okay.
a little bit of the later ads. But Nats, D-backs over. Unfortunately for my guy, Josiah Gray, he's not going to pitch well today. A ton of guys up on PP for the D-backs, for runs and everything. I think they absolutely crush them. Javon pointed out, Rojas home run props pretty freaking short for a guy who hasn't hit a nuke this season. Sure. Josiah Gray is known to give up the long ball a time or two, right? He has been weirdly good recently. Do I believe in this kid and think he's a future, top 2 starting pitcher in a rotation for the next, 8 to 10 years? Sure, I do. I love the way he's moving. I really do. But tonight, with that total up to 9, I know Merrill Kelly's probably going to pitch okay. The dude's pretty freaking consistent at this point. Very, very impressed with him. Love me some Merrill Kelly. Total's moving up in Arizona. Nats have hit 5 unders in a row. This game's going over, and I can tell by the way it's moving up, and it's probably not going to be a good thing for my Nats. We're playing good ball recently, and also, don't let the Nats bats get hot. They can score, and they're a top 15 offense in baseball, plain and simple. Home runs, Pete, they don't hit them. But that's a good thing in this park. We've talked about that before as well. They're going to use the gaps. They're going to score runs. They're going to go base to base. and play weird, fun, makes no sense baseball like the Nats have been doing recently, and they've been pulling out runs out of their ass and playing pretty good. So they'll score a couple off of Merrill, and unfortunately, Josiah is going to give up a bunch probably. All right.
I love the pitch, my man. So right now, and you knew it was at 9, but you grabbed 9.5 at plus money. I'm curious, just for anyone looking at the lines right now and they just see 9 at minus 120, would you be like, no, grab the alt line? It's not really an alt line. It's just you're grabbing 9.5 instead of being at 9 at plus money. You prefer getting it at plus money.
I prefer plus money because I think this is either going to be Josiah Gray stays locked in. The lines haven't calculated him yet and how good of a pitcher he is. And this game soars under, right? And I look like a bozo. Or the read is right. And the game's not only going to go over, it's going to soar over. And you're going to see Josiah Gray get knocked out of this game in the 3rd or 4th inning. You're going to see runs galore from Arizona because typically when they score, it comes in bunches at home. All right. This game's either going under and Josiah is going to deal again and the odds have not corrected, or it's going to be ugly. Okay.
I'm here for it. I think these are all good plays, except I cannot believe you're laying 2 units on the Cardinals. I just can't believe it. It might be. I just can't believe it.
You could believe it, though, because it's me and it's the Cardinals and they suck. You could believe it.
You are obsessed. Appreciate you, my friend. BTL, 12:30. Plug it.
Sure. Every day. Thanks for coming on today, Pete. Chad, he comes on pretty much every Friday, 12:30 Eastern on the Book It Sports Twitch. Be there, be square. All right?
Be there, be sharp. Talk
yes,
to you soon, my friend.
Love it.
Hook 'em.
Love it.
Hook 'em.
Have a good weekend, bro.
You too. Cinco de Mayo. All that. All right. That was the Crabs. Nobody in queue right now. We'll be welcoming on people soon. Ben is next. Anybody have any questions in the chat right now for me to answer? I want to hear more. I hate that play. Love that play. I want to hear more of that in the chat. I want to see more. I want to see more roasting or tailing, right? I want to see a little bit more of that. So if anyone has any questions or anyone says, I don't like that play, love that play, I'd love to hear it. Jen should start his show 30 minutes earlier. What do you think about Burns getting 10 Ks? Be a question for it's good value, probably. Why just get a plus something? Why are people on Cards Tigers first 5? Why do people like the first 5 over? I haven't heard the first 5 over yet on stream, but I think they're thinking that the Cardinals get to Boyd and the Tigers. I mean, they're both in their better split, so I can see why. Ben's in queue?
No, I'm just saying Nessie, Nick.
You want roasting? Cowboys Nick, can we get you on stream, please? Can we get you on stream? Just chilling in the chat. Get up here. Isn't the line kind of short for Castillo today? Not really. It's the Astros, and they have Christian Javier on the mound. I actually think it should be shorter, and I think the fact that it's minus 135 and moving towards them means the Mariners win this game. Butter Knife Sharp. It's a good name. Butter Knife Sharp. Do you factor PP lines in any handicapping? I think it's a part of it. Like, if something on Prize Picks is showing, like, something way off than what I like, then, like, yeah. But, like, generally, I cap so early in the morning before scores are even up. So, not really. I think everything's a part of it, right? Betting splits, what's the park looking like, matchups, tons of different stuff. Krabs and Javon are really big Prize Picks believers, like the bumps. They really follow that stuff. And, they've been profitable. For me, I don't put a ton of stock into it, but it is something to look at, right? It's just all about, enough edges come that you end up making a play. I think it's worth it to look at it, but it's not something that I'm, like, dead set on, right? I'm sprinkling 10Ks at plus 560. I think that's a solid play. Because I think Burns could strike out the world today, and Giants are like one of the highest strikeout teams in baseball against right-handed pitching. Butter Knife Sharp. Me personally, I don't think 5 runs get scored because Montgomery is our better pitcher. He is, and he has been pitching well, but the Tigers can't hit a lefty. Matt Vierling's been very good. I don't know what his Prize Picks is looking like, but that's definitely something to consider. Anyone else yet? We're just still waiting. Who else we got coming on stream today, by the way? Aram. Aram's coming on soon. Cali Wager's coming on soon.
Mid-major.
There's Nick. Bang.
Sorry.
Good to see ya.
Nick just jumped in.
Nick just jumped in. What's up? Hanging out in the chat, not coming on streams, giving out plays. What's up? Oh, I think muted.
There we go. Wrong
Bang.
mic.
Bang. Just hanging out in chat, now trying to give out plays. What's up?
No, I figured that there would be people in queue.
Yeah, me too.
Listen to what other people had to say.
Love it. Anything that you really liked what someone said?
I like all the talk on the Reds. I mean, maybe surprise of nobody. That's Reds are my favorite play today.
Amazing.
They were my favorite play before I knew that anybody else was on them.
That's crazy.
People are saying go to can people just make sure that Nick I can hear Nick. I think everybody should be able to hear Nick. Can you let me know in the chat? Make sure that people can hear Nick.
I can hear myself on the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Everyone hears. You're good. Break into why you like the Reds.
Yeah, I mean it's all about the pitching. So I think Hunter Green is a better pitcher than Lance Lynn. The Reds bullpen is as gross as it is to say, like Ollie was saying, is better than the White Sox bullpen right now. The White Sox pen has been bad. And I think coming home at minus 110, minus 115, whatever it's at right now, I think that the Reds are a good look.
Absolutely. I think so too. It is a little bit scary that everyone loves them. But like they're the better team in this matchup. Like I don't know what to tell you. They're the play.
Yeah, no, I don't want to overthink it. I mean, I think that Hunter Green, a lot of people, me included, have been. I don't want to say down on him, but maybe like we need to throw some brakes on the hype train, just because he's had some efficiency issues. So a lot of people betting like on his strikeouts to go over have been getting beat because Green is taking too many pitches to get outs. He's walking people, but he's still he's still good. He's not giving up runs.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like if we're talking about money lines, that's what counts.
I agree. That's the main point of it too. But you got more plays. Let's talk about play number 2.
Yeah, I've got 3 more. Is there a specific one?
Just do whatever you want to go into.
Okay. Yeah. So the next thing I have is the Royals. Heard some talk about this also. I love the value here. So Bobby Witt is out apparently.
Yeah.
Which I maybe don't love quite as much anymore. But I submitted it, and I think it's still a good look even without Bobby Witt. Royals bats are really heating up. I watched pretty much every pitch of all 3 games in that series against the Orioles. Kansas City's bats look pretty good. I saw some decent pitchers from Baltimore, guys who are better than Kyle Muller for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas City making a lot of good contact. We saw a lot of balls traveling. We saw a lot of hard hits. And I think that they continue to score against Muller, who's been pretty bad both this year and in a small sample size last year. And I think against that A's bullpen. And like Ollie was saying, I think Ollie made a lot of good points on a lot of stuff today.
I totally agree.
Except maybe I don't like the Athletics here. They jettisoned some guys out, brought some new guys in, but it's still not a good bullpen.
Yeah, it's the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball. Not just a bad bullpen. It is by far the worst. And second is your Chicago White Sox. Not yours, but just saying yours.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Play number 3.
Play number 3. So those are 2 favorites. I've also got a pair of underdogs today. So underdog number 1, we're back in Dick Mountain and the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of this Pirates team. Number moved against me a little bit in this one. I'm not really sure why, but it looks like we went from like plus 120 to plus 130 on the Pirates.
Plus 140 now.
Plus 140 now on MGM. Wow. That's weird because it was. So I think MGM has had like quite the turn on that game because plus 120 was kind of like a bad price on the Pirates when I locked it in. It was like plus 125, plus 130 in other spots. It's kind of still hovering around like plus 130 in a lot of other spots, but now MGM's at plus 140.
Yeah, they're going up and down.
That's a little strange. But I'm happy to back Rich Hill here. Toronto's been pretty good against lefties, but Bassett has been so inconsistent this season. He's like consistently giving up runs. And I just like this Pittsburgh team at home. I think at plus 120, plus 140, whatever. Good value at plus money.
Do you, by chance, if you think that the Blue Jays, are pretty good against lefties, if anyone is hearing the way you're talking and being like, why not just play the over? Do you like the over at 9? I'm just curious.
No, I don't really like the over.
Okay.
I just think it's too many runs. It's just too many runs. I mean, Hill's been like surprisingly quite good this year. His ERA is like what 4.18, and he's not like a sexy pitcher from a pitching makeup perspective. But I mean, he's given up more than 3 runs once this season, and he's eating innings. So I think even if Hill gives up 3, I think the Pirates are a good looker.
I agree. At plus money, I was already leaning them. Don't love the line movement, but again, so now probably I don't have a play, but I would lean the Pirates with you. I think it's a good dog play. What's your second dog of the day?
Second dog. This is a fade of something that we heard earlier. I was quite surprised. Well, maybe surprised, maybe not surprised for different reasons to see Crabs on St. Louis. But give me the Tigers.
Yeah.
In this game at plus 185. I think this is just a pure value spot. I think St. Louis is the better team. But should St. Louis be minus 225 against anybody at this point? No. Tigers just went into New York and swept the Mets. Cardinals team can't really hit anybody. They've lost how many in a row? 5 or 6 in a row.
This will be 7 if they lose.
This will be 7. Okay. So tomorrow, people. I guess there's no stream tomorrow, but we'll be talking like, oh, Pirates have lost 7, or not Pirates. Cardinals have lost 7 in a row. And the other thing that I like about this is a lot of talk about Tigers can't hit lefties. You look at the last couple weeks. Look at the last, I guess, like 3 weeks, or the last 2 weeks against lefties. Tigers have the second best WRC plus in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 weeks against lefties, behind only Tampa. Small sample size. I mean, it's 2 weeks, but they're heating up.
They are heating up, and against the lefty, that's why I was like so shocked to see Crabs on Cardinals laying 2 units. I just feel like it's way overvalued. I know in his opinion, it's like it's overvalued for a reason. Like they really, this is a get right series, and the Cardinals are still great against lefties too. It's a tough game, but I would lean Tigers with you.
On that note, actually, the Cardinals are ice cold against lefties. They have literally over the last 2 weeks the worst WRC plus in baseball.
Wow, you would not expect
lefties.
that. Wow. All right, appreciate you, Nick.
I mean, yeah, and I think it is a get right spot for St. Louis, but are they going to actually get right? I mean, it's one thing to be in a get right spot. It's another thing to be a bet value.
That's what I agree. Like, I'm hearing about the Mets like getting right. I'm like, they got to show me, right? They got to show me after that series. So appreciate you coming on, my man. Plug anything you need before you go.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to check out what I have to say, or what Ben, who I believe is going to be coming on next, has to say, tune into the Capwise Twitch stream. So we've been live at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, literally every single day for the entire MLB season, and are going to continue to be live every single day at that time for the entire MLB season. Just running through the slate, shooting the shit. It's a good time. So twitch.tv/CAP_WIZE.
Love it, my man. Appreciate you coming. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, absolutely.
Peace.
Later.
Dummy Faith. Hi, I want to offer your promotion. How about I just block you? Ban Dummy Faith. See ya, Dummy Faith. See ya. Just like the Royals are about to do. And the A's. Who we got it? Ben. The other half of Cap Wise. I want to see if he's on the same side of his good friend Nick over here. What are you on today, Ben? Good to see you.
I don't think we have any of the same plays, but I kind of can get down with what he was saying on a few.
Do you think that you're going to beat him this year in the competition? Or do you think he's going to get you?
It's going to be close.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, it kind of depends, if I can hit some prize picks. But
let's talk plays.
It'll be close. So first play, I'm going with the Phillies. I believe someone else is on the Phillies. Was looking at this one, and at first I was like, yeah, I don't know about the Phillies, but for me, I think it's a spot where the Phillies against lefties so far this season, they haven't hit as well as they did last year. So I think there's a little bit of regression there. And also Chris Sale, I just can't trust. Peter, I'm curious, where are you with Chris Sale right now?
Chris Sale and I have a interesting relationship because I think he is one of the best pitchers of our generation. And I've watched that man overcome so much, and in spots that he's not even supposed to pitch well, he just dominates. But when I look metrically, it's not good. Like he has become one of the great pitchers of our generation because of his unhittable slider. And by Stuff Plus, it ranks as a below average pitch. His fastball's been getting tattooed. His command isn't there. I don't know what to think about him. I just because my brain still thinks Chris Sale is good.
Right.
But the numbers are disagreeing with me. So he's a tough pitcher for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's a few pitchers this year that kind of fit that, right? Like we know them to be solid on their career, but this year not where they used to be. So I think that's part of this handicap. It's the Phillies first 5 minus 160, and then Wheeler. Wheeler at home has been pretty good. Going back to last year in 2021, he was under, I think, a 3 ERA in both seasons respectively. So he pitches well at home. Phillies need to turn it on a little bit, but I think this is a decent spot against Sale. I think they can get some guys on base. I think Turner is going to have some action on the base path too. So that's going to be my first play for 1.2 units.
Okay, but we got more plays from you. Let's go to Detroit and St. Louis and look at that first 5 over. That was a question in chat. Why do people like it today? And we got the perfect person to describe it because you're on it.
Yeah, so anytime I do a first 5 over, I'm basically, playing a pitcher platoon split. And the Tigers for me, and Nick just mentioned it, they've been hitting well against lefties. And there's a perception that they can't hit lefties, but as of late, they're seeing them really well. Mm-hmm. And the Cardinals, on the other hand, they haven't been, but historically they have. If you look at Goldschmidt's numbers against lefties, it's a huge discrepancy. Mm-hmm. So I think Goldschmidt or even Nolan Arenado, one of those two guys, I think will have a run, maybe an RBI. And I just think that, look, I guess you could say it's like the Cardinals are due, but they have been playing well in the first 5 innings of some of these games. It's been like the later innings where the bats get cold and the pitching kind of falls apart. So I think in the first 5, I'm comfortable playing an over 4.5. Even though the perception of the Cardinals right now is, they've lost 6 in a row, but I think we can get over 5 here.
I like it, my man. I'm curious too. Let me just check any line movement for you.
Looks like it's about staying the same for the most part.
I think you're correct on that. Let me just check for you to make sure. Cardinals, where are you? Why can't I find you? Right here. Bang. Okay. Yeah, first 5 is at minus 110.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's still what you got it. So
cool.
Play it.
Cool.
Let's get to play
number
and then,
3. The third play on the books here, the Mets run line. And I think you might be on this or the same angle at least with
I'm on the under.
Rockies. Yeah, Rockies coming off of a Coors homestand. It's been something I've been, playing this angle for 4 or 5 years now. And even more so, Sensatella. Now, Peter, I know you're on the under, but that does scare me a little bit because he is coming off a rehab performance where he gave up 9 runs, 6 earned in 3 innings, 8 hits. Now, granted, it's PCL, sure, but that's definitely not a good sign. I'm not saying it's like, I'm not saying like, oh, that's why he's going to give up those same numbers in City Field. Probably not. But watching this guy over the years, he's a heavy contact pitcher, as you know, and I'm a little worried there. So, anyways, I don't see the Rockies putting up runs either way. So I think both of our bets will hit, Peter. I was even thinking about playing like a 2.5 also, but I'm just going to stay with the run line. Go with the Mets here.
Here's why I really like my under. First, the line moved from 8.5 to 8. And this play in particular went from minus 130 to minus 115 currently on BetMGM. I'm not saying that this is a bad play at all, because if you made me take another play in this game, I'd be playing this game. I just think, weirdly enough, Sensatella pitch is okay. Now, I don't think the Rockies are going to score much, so I think you win in like a 5-2 game. But I don't think that Sensatella actually gets crushed like I think a lot of people think.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get crushed. It really comes down to like Marte or Alonso if they can get a home run. If not, that's going to be the difference because there are going to be guys on base. He walks too, so it just comes down to those two. If I think Ollie might be on I saw on his Twitter he's on like a Alonso home run, I think. So that's going to be the difference in this game.
Fair enough. You got more plays though. One more.
Yeah, and then I have the prize pick. So went 4-5 on my last prize picks that I pitched on stream. Berger got hurt in the 4th inning, which was super frustrating. I was feeling really good about that. The rest of that lineup hit pretty well too against the Twins, but it is what it is. It's still profited something small. Today I'm going with Sensatella, over 15.5 pitches thrown in the 1st inning. So this is offered on prize picks. I've been betting these and I've been having good success. He's a guy who doesn't pitch well in the 1st inning compared to other pitchers across the league. Now, of course, numbers are going to be inflated for the 1st inning. You're playing the best hitters. You're seeing them, but he really does struggle across the board more so in the 1st inning. So it really comes down to as long as we can get one of those 3 guys on base, it's probably going to go over. I think it takes a little time for him to settle in, but at the same time, Peter, he could just have 6 pitches and 3 ground balls. That's definitely a possibility, but I'm going to lean with him going over 15.5. So that's the first leg. Second leg is Battenfield, under 5 strikeouts. Our model has this under. He's never been a big strikeout guy. I think he's kind of lacking confidence right now to pitch in the zone, and teams are hitting him pretty well. So it's 4.5 on the books. I'm hoping that it can just go under 4.5, and that's going to be my 2-legger here.
Appreciate you, my man. Talk to you soon, all right? Because Nick already gave you the great plug of the Capwise stream.
Yes.
I know you guys have been typing in chat for people to go follow.
I'll be in chat. Yeah, and I'll drop a comment so you guys can follow. I appreciate it, and we'll see you Monday.
You got it, my man. See you Monday. Good luck. All right. That was Mr. Ben Carey, Capwise. Great people over there at Capwise, even though I'm going to wipe the floor with them. Just like everybody else, though. Not them in particular. Let's get to the next up. Who's up next? Oh, we got Arm Layton.
Yeah. You're not wiping the floor with me.
Oh, wait.
You haven't seen the hot streak I've been on?
Mike is a little poverty. I think maybe I turned down. I can hear myself in your stream, maybe.
How about now?
Oh, amazing.
It was connected to the camera microphone.
I mean, what are you doing?
Who the hell would ever speak through a camera microphone? I don't understand that. But no, I'm ready to go. We got two unit plays today and an irresponsible bet. So we got 2 double units and then a reckless bet. Like, what kind of slate do you want? What else would you want from me?
I have to hear the reckless bet first. Oh, I can still hear
You're
myself.
gonna hate the reckless bet.
Hold. I can hear myself in your maybe turn down the volume like completely on your computer, maybe.
It is down. It's pretty low.
Whatever. Just keep going.
Can you still hear it? Is it?
It's good
Good
for
for you,
Cohen.
Will?
Screw it. It might just be me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Irresponsible bet, the one that I know you will not like, is Cardinals minus 1.5 runs. 1 unit. So first I want to hear all of the reasons why you hate it.
You and I talk about the Cardinals every day. You think they're playing well? Like, no. Have you watched them? Like, that's why I don't like it. I mean, Krabs is putting 2 units on the Cardinals money line. Nick is on the Tigers money line. Like, yes, the Cardinals are better against lefties, but the Tigers are better against lefties. And they're at home. Like, I hate taking a run line at home. This is not hitting.
This is just I think this is the way the Tigers finally do it. This is how they the Cardinals finally get a win. The Tigers' crazy, uncharacteristic sweep over the Mets, like, that was hilarious, which I'm going to get to that in a second. Cardinals, I know that they've been a disaster, but, like, what better way to get back on track than a home game against Matt Boyd? Not only do you get your lefty, you get the lefty that throws BP. if the Cardinals don't win this game, I promise you I will not bet on them the entirety of the season. I might not even look at them.
What if
I might
they
not
win,
even look at the logo.
What if they win like 5-4? Are they still bettable even if you lose your bet?
Yeah, they're on probation, but
Probation.
they're bettable. If they lose this game though, I promise you, I will not touch them for the entirety of this damn season. I might not even watch.
This is a probation lock. That's what you call it in the Cardinals might as well have a probation lock.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I want to get to – oh, wait. How many plays do you have today? You have 4?
3.
3. 2-unit bombs. Let's hear your first one. Whichever one you want more.
So I'll go because I think the other one I'm pretty sure you're on as well. So
Okay.
I'll start with Giants Brewers first 5 under, which, you know, I thought when you can get 4 runs, under 4 runs in a Corbin Burns start in San Francisco, you know, like I think it's a really good environment for him to pitch in. I know Burns overall, the numbers haven't been great. He hasn't looked like the Corbin Burns we've become accustomed to, but you really take out one bad start. He's been pretty good overall. He's had one bad start, one mess start, and the rest have been good. And I think he's going to be pitching against a Giants lineup that's pretty weak in an environment that's, I think it's going to be pretty tough to hit it out of there today. I think the wind's already blowing in, but also it's just a pitcher's park in general. And then Manaea, like, yeah, he's kind of a roller coaster, but the Brewers are atrocious against lefties, and I don't expect that to change. Again, Manaea's better at home. I like him in this spot where he doesn't have to be great. I assume Corbin Burns is going to hold a Giants lineup that's pretty bad in check. So I just like that first 5 under 4. I think that's just a too high of a number.
Phenomenal. And then the last 2-unit play, let me guess, Reds?
No,
Okay.
no. It's Mets Rockies under first 5.
First
Yeah.
5. Come
I
on.
mean, they're giving 4.5. Why are they giving 4.5 here? To me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, Kodai Senga, again, another guy that when he's on, that seems like the kind of guy that gets on track by carving up a Rockies team that's away from Coors. But then on the Mets side, like, yeah, I think everyone's expecting Senzatella to just stink because he got blown up in his AAA start. Yeah, sure. But this is also a Mets team that got held in check by Michael Lorenzen, who I think is just as much of an auto fade. That guy went 7 innings. I think it was either shutty or 1-run ball.
Yeah.
He entered that game with like an 8 ERA. Then they got shut down by Eduardo Rodriguez, who I think is really good, but he shut them down. And even Joey Wentz, like, I think he gave up 5 runs, but I think he still went 5 or 6. And then the Will Vest shut it down. Like the bullpen shut it down. I think this Mets lineup is really cold right now. I think this is a time to capitalize. Even if they don't go off, I don't think the Rockies are scoring. So under 4.5 is easy money to me.
So I'm just curious, because I'm on the full game under, you're on the first 5. What made you go first 5, not full game?
Yeah, I know. The more I was thinking about it too, because I'm like, do I really trust Senzatella? It's honestly more of just I'm worried about the Rockies bullpen. If one of their relievers comes in and blows it up, I'd be pretty pissed. I wanted to just kind of get through 5 innings. It's a cold Mets offense. I think they're going to roll into their cold. But I could see the Rockies just giving it up on the back end, and that was my only reason why. But I think because if Senzatella only goes 3, which I think he might only go 3 or 4, then they're going to be going deep into the bullpen through the whole duration of that game, and that makes me nervous.
Jake Bird, Justin Lawrence, Daniel Bard, Brent Suter. Bring us home.
Dude.
Don't laugh. These guys are like not bad.
It's crazy. You could have made up you could have made those names up, and I think 90% of like legit baseball fans wouldn't know.
Cohen is just like, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
He knows I don't know that. Like,
He's saying he knows that I don't know that. I think
Like,
they're going to
there's
shut
no way.
The Mets are getting shut out by Brent Suter today. Book it.
They got
All right?
shut out by Will Vest.
Yeah, if you get shut out by Will Vest, like you have issues. Cohen, your Mets have issues. He knows.
And the weather, right? Isn't the wind blowing in heavy today?
No, it's not. It's not a wind thing. It's like when the wind blows directly into that, like kind of it's like side wind sort of to left field. It actually hurts the offense the most, which I find interesting. And the full game under did move from 8.5 to 8, so I'm feeling good. Your first 5 under is also moving in your direction too. I think these are winners.
Let's
I
go.
think these are winners. All right. Wait. So Capwise is saying high pressure in New York City. Also, Pete, Give me again, Ben. You want high pressure for an under, right? Low pressure means the ball flies farther. Arm, you know that, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Low pressure.
Altitude, lower pressure at altitude.
High pressure. We want pressure today. Come
as
on.
much pressure as possible. I'll do my part.
Let's do it. All right. Appreciate you, Arm. All right. We'll talk soon. Peace. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, who else is in queue, producer Colin?
Nobody. It's either mid-major or Cali Wager. I haven't heard from them.
Mid-major, Cali Witch, that's it for the day?
Yeah, then I haven't heard from them.
Oh my, what is good with these people? I'm calling mid-major right now on the phone. Oh, he's probably working. Let's see. Let me give California Wager a text. California girls are under now. California girls. I'm a pretty good singer. What were you saying, producer Cone? We got some units for Cali. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Will Vest has been dealing. Brewers make Gomber look like Tom Glavine. Brewers just can't hit a lefty. They just cannot hit a lefty. Please, someone come up. So Peter stopped saying, Cam, why don't you come up? Why don't you come up and give us a play? Huh? Huh? Pete, what's your prize picks today? I don't got anything for prize picks. Peter from American Idol, people are saying it. Cam is not, because he doesn't know anything about art, which I do. Watch any playoff basketball or hockey? Oh, I don't know. The Knicks are going to win the championship. That's how much playoff basketball I watch.
So, a lot.
Rangers, no. No. Not the Rangers. Stick to baseball, Pete. What do you mean? Ever heard of Julius Randle? Ever heard of... I mean, Emmanuel Quickley is good. Quentin Grimes is good. Jalen Brunson is very good. Tom Thibodeau is at least a top 15 coach. Mitchell Robinson is kind of like Dikembe Mutombo with a little less talent. Don't say we aren't beating the Heat. I thought you were naming players that also play baseball. I do think that the Knicks will win the championship. That's my next play. Knicks to win the title. What is that? What are those odds, by the way? Let me look at BetMGM and see if that's a freaking donation. Basketball people, is Knicks winning the title donation? And if you say yes, you don't know ball. Let me see. NBA futures. How do the Knicks have like the worst odds? Plus 2,500 on the Knicks? Question in the chat. Plus 900 billion. Will you have any more than 1 unit plays in the future? So in 2 years, I don't do it lightly. In 2 years, ever since I started back in 2021, I've given out a 2-unit play 13 times. That's between the NFL and the MLB. 12-1. And I stick by that religiously. I will only give you a 2-unit play if I believe in everything that surrounds the play. Everything. Line movement, betting splits, matchup, park, everything. I got to absolutely love it to give it to you. And I don't say it lightly. Like, you know, everyone's out here giving 5-unit maxes and 3-unit bombs and 78-unit megalodons. I don't do that. We manage our bankroll, and we only go big if it's truly deserving. Now, you could lose one. I've lost one before, but remember, it's only if I absolutely love it. Phillies was 2 units, right? No, what was 2 units? Just locked in Knicks not to win. Would you suggest waiting till after the first inning to live bet the over in the A's game? I kind of think they score early, but I don't hate them. I would just look to play it however the game's going, right? Like, let's say they do get out of the first inning without a run. Yeah, but you could miss the boat there. It could be a lot of runs early, which I do expect there to be runs early. So it's up to you. I'm playing it now. But again, if you don't want to play 10, I would still play it at 10. Braun 5th ring. Yeah. It's going to be Lakers-Knicks. And Jalen Brunson's getting his first. Where is mid-major and Cali, Producer Cohen? Where are they?
I added both of them 10 minutes ago. No response.
We want to get the people home, right? I have the script. Peter has 2 units on Anthony Richardson, Rookie of the Year. That would be sick. No, I don't know. I haven't made Rookie of the Year picks for the NFL yet. But something I did give out to all my Dub Club subscribers before the line moved. Actually, let me check what it is now. NFL. Cam is money. I think you're going to like this play. NFL. Please give me line move in my direction. Where are you? Yes. NFC North. I gave out 2 subs. Bears to win the division, plus 360. They had the lowest odds of anybody in the division. You know what happened? See Aaron Rodgers. Lions, we'll see. Vikings, don't love them. And the Packers, they ain't winning shit. Bears, worst to first. We saw it with the Jaguars last year. I think the Bears have a very good season. I think Justin Fields getting his offensive lineman, I forget his last name. I know it's Darnell Wright, I think his name is, from the offensive tackle from Tennessee, was it? LMAO Dono. That ain't a dono. That's hitting. Pitch catch pod. I know he likes the Bears. Bear down. Give me the Bears. They're winning the NFC North. They still have a really bad defense, though, Pete. B-man, can we be a little bit positive here? Could we be a little bit positive? Remember, the defense was so hurt last year. How many games did Eddie Jackson play? Like 2? Justin Herbert MVP? Yeah, I keep donating to the Justin Herbert MVP fund. Keep donating to the Chargers over win total fund. That shit ain't hitting. They'll just never be that. Everyone hating on him right now. I mean, for good reason. And it's all his head coach's fault. I'm in such baseball mind that I forget who the head coach of the Charger is. I know exactly his face. He's like this young analytics guy. Brandon Staley, that's who it is. I was a year early. Am I always just a year early? I've been a year early every year. All right, I don't know where mid-major and Cali Wager are. We might just have to go over their plays, Producer Cohen.
I got both Callies up right now.
Why don't we just go over Cali Wager's plays? Let's do it. Bring them up. Brewers on the money line, 2.4 units. He is tailing Corbin Burns. And he also, what is that? How many units he's got on the Twins there? Just one? 1.15 units at minus 115. What do we think about these plays, ladies and gentlemen? Krabs is on the Brewers. Let me know thoughts in chat. Thoughts on these plays from Cali Wager. Twins win from Macy J. Twins win. Burn should shove for my guy Ben. People like this. Battenfield about to get touched up. I don't know. All right, let's get into mid-majors plays. Because I don't know where he's at. Look at that. Holy crap. Holy mother of God. Minnesota Twins, first 5 money line. I got to refresh my thing. I'm all blurry here. Give me a second. Let's see. Okay. Atlanta through the first 5, 3 units at minus 215. Are people seeing that correctly? Atlanta first 5 money line. Houston, Seattle, first 5 under 3.5. Jesus, Matt called the number. Dodgers, Padres under 7.5. Sure, Brave. Sure. All right, those are the plays. Remember, if you ever miss plays, we're all on Picket, where you can find our bets tracked. Use code Peter when you sync your sportsbook. It's a raffle. You can win up to $100. I always say you're probably going to get $3. But again, you're going to get free money just for downloading a free app and tracking all of our plays when you sync your sportsbook to see how you're doing as well. Remember, I didn't have any prize picks today, but Ben did, and we'll have prize picks all season long. Use code JustBaseball when you download for a full instant deposit match. Thank you, everybody, for listening. That was the Not Gambling Advice Baseball Betting Stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Everyone go enjoy your Cinco de Mayo. Get a taco. Get a margarita. Hopefully it's on me after we cash all the plays today. But again, just want to thank all of our other streamers for coming on. Hopefully you guys enjoy the weekend. Appreciate you all listening. I truly do. Thank you for all the support. But we have to remember, it's not gambling advice.